MGTOW, which stands for Men Going Their Own Way, is a new lifestyle that many guys are adopting. More and more males of various socioeconomic backgrounds are choosing not to get married or date women, especially those who already have kids. It has been greatly enhanced. And if the seriousness of the situation is lost on you, consider this. You recognize me as a black woman in the well-established black community for single women, despite the fact that this is perhaps one of the most damaging events in the history of any group. Regardless of who you like to call good, even they are part of the MGTOW movement. They will not even talk to you about getting married or having kids if you call them from the black community. About half of all black guys are single and have never been married. So, you're saying I should get out of here? You probably all know males that are actually females. Perhaps they'd settle for 51, the simple majority. The vast majority of them will still turn down a date. In keeping with this new way of life, they plan to marry and start families only when they're ready, leading to both a decrease in the number of families and an increase in insecurity. Men can learn a lot from women about how to be responsible adults. What worries me is that the family unit will no longer be valued, since everyone will be focused on staying alive. Anyone who has been following my channel for more than 3 years knows that I am happily married. Even though I'm married, I still have some single relatives, and this scares me. I hope that where I live will feel like one big happy family. To say I come from a weak household is not true. We won't be seeing these relatives or units, so family gatherings, parties, and holidays won't be like they were in the 1990s, when I was a kid and everyone was friendly and the kids all played together. Because family is everything, losing a supportive network of people to grow up with will have a profound impact on my life in every respect. As a married woman, it has an effect on me. Because of my close ties to and the advanced years of my male and female kin, I care deeply that they age with the best possible prognosis in the face of illness and injury. It scares me that the statistics show that single people do not live long, happy lives, since I want the individuals I enjoy spending time with to be there for as long as possible. And someday I'll have to bring up a family in a world where males flat out refuse anything and everything. There will be rules about how my partner and I should bring up our child. Wherever I go, my son, you will go with me, and your children will have to be raised in a culture that is completely foreign to mine. As far as I can tell, that happened in the 90s. Men would come up to women and shove their friends. Normally, she would say yes if she were interested, and they would go on dates and get to know each other. Since this has always been the case, I'll have to prepare them for challenges I've never faced before sending them out into the world, where they could expect nothing but isolation and despair. Further, the world caters to married people. With regards to taxation, what does that imply? The savings on car insurance are substantial. As the chances of getting a good mortgage continue to drop, the housing market is becoming increasingly unsettling. A couple who has been renting an apartment will have no trouble purchasing a property in a good area. The best possible outcome for a family is for each parent to have a child who will carry on the family name. They're happy as long as nothing good happens by default, as they should be, but you learn to find happiness within yourself. You're not dating, you're just sharing and expanding each other's happiness. You can find joy in many things, but nothing can compare to the love of your family. I'd like to get right to the point of offering solutions to this problem. We need them, and women will provide the vast majority of them. The possibility exists if modern women are independent enough to function just well without the help of a man. You will no longer be able to make a request for something that is optional if that choice is no longer available. If you don't find a mate, you won't amount to anything. As it stands, I do not consider starting a family a viable option, and I do not think it ever will be. If that's what you're after, I can empathize. There are a lot of things I'd like to do in life that hinge on having a stable, loving family. If you want children, you should get married and stay married. That's a reasonable fallback if things don't go as planned and circumstances shift. That's one thing, but I'm suggesting that if you don't start with the foundation, everything else will be exceedingly tough, if not impossible. I'm just saying that it's far more difficult, therefore one solution is to reward me for advocating for sister women by giving me this. Supporting heterosexual females is something you should fight for. Your existence and your connection are both precarious. If you put it to use, you can expect to enjoy a more fulfilling and extended life. Also, most women don't realize that being a contributing member of a family unit can lead to a more fulfilling existence. Your hours will be reduced even if you come into contact with a normal dude. For what reason is this the case? You and your roommates should either move in together or find a cheaper, smaller home as soon as the lease on one of your apartments expires. When a couple gets married, they might save money on car insurance by combining their policies. Even when applying for a loan, having property or a high credit score is preferred. This application contains the names of two people. Buying a home as a single person is much more challenging than you might think, yet I see many single women doing it all the time. Achieving such a landmark on your own, however, makes it more challenging to find a relationship, as most men prefer not to be thought of as loner material. After relocating into a female-owned dwelling, you should buy a house immediately if you plan on moving in with her. Get to know a homeowner and build a rapport with them. It is imperative that you tell her, "Look, this is a great place, but we have to move in together and I will never have it on my conscience as a man that I moved into your home." That was it. I needed a name starter based on my given name. Similarly, if you want a real man, he probably won't move into your house and set down roots there because it's unjust to him given that you've owned the place since long before he was born. Other options include not notifying other women or putting them under restraint. As long as you're willing to pay the price, which is indirect for women but direct for men, an undisciplined lifestyle is okay. Another option exists as well. You have the responsibility of working and fighting for these men and making sure that their goals are met. Aside from work and school, you spend much of your time thinking about how you got to be so old, broken, or disabled. Is there anything more vital than studying? Because getting older is unavoidable, you need a family who can take care of you, even down to wiping your buttocks and feeding you with a spoon. Therefore, we need to get to a place where we are willing to fight for these women, these couples, and these families. Including the fact that males are now claiming, "We began it, what's the deal, anyway?" It's not right to treat them like that. We do a lot of things outside of the family because we know that money comes and goes, but that family is forever if you take care of it. Let's get this party started. Ladies and gentlemen, there were times when I was unable to adequately address your issues via video, therefore I'd appreciate the opportunity to do so face to face. I've witnessed real-life events and watched live broadcasts. Obviously, I can't go to everyone's house. Unfortunately, I can't give every one of you a call right now. There will be good and bad times. I hope I can be your community advocate regardless of whether the issue is related to singleness, accountability, or past relationships. While I don't have any formal training in counseling, I can be your voice in the neighborhood. I can drive you around as we talk about how we can work together to solve a larger issue facing our town. I truly believe this information will prove useful. My goal is to have a live conversation with one of you, either by video or just voice, and then continue the conversation by presenting my thoughts to the world via camera. Even though I am already married, we need to take action because the lady is the most important part of the solution. My complicity in this problem stems from my refusal to acknowledge its existence, but now that married ladies are singling out your single friends, I can no longer turn a blind eye. You're behaving like a child, which is dumb, and you do need other people when you get older and possibly sick. Even though I love you, bad things may still happen to you in life. My community is very important to me, and I am well aware of the fact that Black women require special protection, which must first and foremost come from their spouses. As of the time this video was recorded, there is no benefit to marriage for men, so it is imperative that we continue to stress the importance of promoting an environment where everyone can thrive. After doing some digging, I concluded that men don't have any special privileges of any kind, therefore we need to get to work creating some. We must begin drafting provisions and entering the legal system.